Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. We are so close. My 34,000 subscriber giveaway is right around the corner. You need to be subscribed if you want a chance to enter. And trust me, this is my biggest silver giveaway ever. You're not going to want to miss this. Go click the link in the description or the pinned comment to enter if you already haven't, because time is definitely running out. It's going to be happening extremely soon. You want to be entered. It's free to enter. Why not, put yourself in an opportunity to win a lot of very expensive silver. Now, this comment that someone shared or asked earlier sparked this video, and it really got me thinking, because he was asking, should I go the direction of more rounds, American Eagles, etc., to stack, or should he go the higher premium route? And it really got me thinking, because both are very, they both have their pros and cons, right? And especially as a beginner, that could be a very confusing thing. There's so many different types of silver. There's so many different directions you can go. And especially when you're watching on YouTube or watching someone else or looking at someone else's silver stack, it's so varied. One person might, like Shadow Stack, the YouTuber, he has a lot of very expensive coins. And then you see someone else that has a lot of just American Eagles in more bulk. So which is right for you? What's the right decision? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So first and foremost, I got to get this across. What works for me might not work for you. When you are watching another YouTuber, what works for them might not work for you. So don't just copycat everyone you see. That's why in my videos, I try to educate, explain why we make these decisions, so then you can apply it to your stack. It's kind of like catch a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime, right? I'm trying to bring my videos, from the perspective that you can now have this and apply it to your stack moving on. I mean, this is a strategy. I'm trying to share my strategy and why I do this. So first things first, you got to know your time frame. That question, what is your time frame? I'm going to ask you right now. Put this in the comments. What is your time frame? Are you looking to sell in 3 years, 10 years, 20 years? And to take it a step further, what price are you willing to sell at? Because your time frame isn't really accurate unless you have the price that you're willing to sell. Because think about it. What if your time frame is 3 years? But in 3 years, what if silver is still around this price? Would you sell then? Probably not, right? Your time frame is depending upon the price of silver. So I want you to comment down below. What is your ideal time frame of selling? Mine's not 15, 20 years down the line. So right now, the price of silver is pretty irrelevant to me. So what's your time frame? And what price are you willing to sell? Is it $50? Is it $100? Are you a very bullish person with a lot of hope? And is it $200? What price are you willing to finally let go? A lot of people probably don't even have that idea yet. This is another opportunity, as well, is when the price, or let's say the price does get to like $40, $50 by 2021, sell maybe 10, 15% of your stack. And then maybe keep going, and then don't sell for a couple more years, right? You can always do that. I see a lot of people do that, actually, especially some of the OG, the OG stackers. When the price is up, when gold's around 2,000, they'll sell some. And then they might you can also do this as well to earn free gold or free silver. Use the gold to silver ratio to your advantage. And what I mean by that is transferring gold to silver or silver to gold as the ratio fluctuates. And you can actually earn free gold or free silver. So let me explain how that works. Let's say the gold to silver ratio is 100 to 1. So it takes 100 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. So you go to your local coin shop. Let's say you have an ounce of gold and you trade it for 100 ounces of silver, right? So you had an ounce of gold. Now you have 100 ounces of silver. And you hold on to these 100 ounces, and then let's say over the next 6 months, the gold to silver ratio is down to 90 to 1. So now you had 100 ounces of silver, Now you can trade 90 ounces of silver back for 1 ounce of gold, and now you're back to the start. You have 1 ounce of gold and another 10 ounces of silver, and you didn't spend an extra dollar out of your own pocket. So it's definitely a convenient way to, to either earn free gold or free silver, but it's also very tricky to know when the time is to trade, right? That's the $1,000,000 question, is when the ratio is 90-1, is that the right time? Because what if it goes lower? So anyways, for the point of this video, you got to get those two questions answered. And then we can go into the more complicated stuff. In the beginning, buy as much silver as you can for as cheap as possible. That's always the motto that I've gone by, right? Because at the end of the day, we're investing into the metal. The metal, silver, is what we see the potential in. It's not always about, how beautiful the coin is or how rare it is. We're going to go in a second on why that can play a major factor. But in the beginning, the safest thing to do is just buy as much silver for as cheap. That means, buying rounds, buying bars, from 5-10 ounce bars, buying in bulk, getting the best deals. Then, once you have a nice foundation, once you have a nice amount of silver under your belt, then you can start diversifying into some of the pricier stuff. And also, by then, you should have a pretty good idea on how to stack. And this is another reason why I tell a lot of people, don't buy the higher premium stuff when you first start, because you're a beginner. You might be making some terrible purchases, because yes, silver is pretty easy. It's easy to go on APMEX and click buy, but if you don't know that market, if you don't really know about silver yet, you could be buying some terrible purchases, right? Just because APMEX has a certain price for a coin doesn't mean that's a good price. Doesn't mean you're going to make your money back. So hopefully over the next couple of years, as you accumulate a lot of ounces, you also have a better idea of what coins are great. And if you don't, I'm about to show you how I look for profitable coins. And this is how it goes. 1, how rare is the coin, right? That's with anything. What are the mintage numbers? So let's say you wanted to invest into a Morgan, or you wanted to invest into an older Panda, right? And definitely pricier coins, is a lot more than an American Eagle. So you wanted to make an investment. This is what I do. I open up Google, and whatever coin it is, especially if it's a specific coin, I'll Google what was the mintage of the 1992 silver pandas, and I look up the mintage. So then I look at all the other years around, the 90s, and see which ones have, the higher mintage numbers and the lower, so you can get an idea on, how rare the coin is. Then, going off the mintage, if it's a lower mintage number, that coin is going to be more expensive. So then when you go to look at a price, you can kind of gauge whether that price is good or not. And if you're buying American coins, you can own a red book. I have a red book, the 2020 edition, I think. The red book literally tells you for every U.S. minted coin what the price should be. A lot of local coin shops, they go by that guide. If you ever go to your local coin shop and look for a Morgan, or you're looking to buy a certain coin, they'll bust open that red book and go off that price 9 times out of 10. So owning a red book is a great strategy, especially if you are more into the U.S. mint. So that's something. Another thing is collectibility, right? How collectible, how sought after is your coin that you're looking to buy? I always think about how I'm going to sell the coin before I even buy it. Does the design change every year, right? I mean, does it drive that type of collectibility factor? Does the design change every year? Which mint, who's making it? Is it Perth Mint, U.S. Mint, right? Royal Canadian Mint? Because that plays a big factor. Perth Mint's very known for their flawless silver, right? Very few mistakes from the Perth Mint. So that could even drive the price higher. There's a lot of different things to look for, but mainly it's mintage and collectibility. Pandas are so collectible because the design changes every year. So people want to collect, every year because there's a different design. In 2013, there's 3 pandas on it. In 2020, there was 1 panda, right? Every year, and just like kookaburras. Kookaburra, the design changes every year, made from, made from a very respectable mint. It's always going down to those couple of things. There's also more. I mean, if we want to get into numismatics, see, here's the thing. Bullion sold just for its metal content. Semi-numismatics sells for its metal content. Also, there's some collectability. Numismatics, strictly just the collectability. So that's why a lot of people might call pandas a semi-numismatic coin, because it is sold for the 1 ounce of silver inside of it, but it also has a collectible value. An American Eagle's a bullion coin. It's not collectible. You're selling it for the 1 ounce of silver. Pandas, semi-numismatic, because there's 1 ounce of silver you're buying, you're paying for, but also the collectability. Then you have coins where it's not about the metal content at all. It's only about the collector value. That's numismatic. Semi-numismatic's kind of contradicting, so I like calling it high premium silver because it has a high premium, right? So in the silver stacking world, that's a argument that a lot of people have is they don't like the word semi-numismatic, and I kind of agree, so I always call it just high premium silver. In the beginning, though, you don't want to mess with it. So some things to look at, the red book, looking at mintage numbers, looking at graded coins, if you are going to go into graded coins. And here's the thing, when you're buying bullion, I never buy slabbed bullion. It doesn't make sense. That's like putting a V8 in a freaking bumper, in a crappy car. In a beater car. It doesn't make sense. You need to always, when you're buying slabs, make sure that 1, the condition's still the same. 2, the coin is worth it, and also don't pay for the slab, pay for the coin. That's another very important saying that I've heard over the years. A lot of times, especially on eBay, they will boost the price up just because it's in a slab, and that's not necessarily the right price. It's not a fair price, but they'll try to do that. If you're looking at, let's say you're looking at an old MS, or actually no, let's do new. Let's say the new Panda just came out, the 2021s. Let's say you want to get a new Panda, but you see an MS68 or MS69 Panda that's worth a couple dollars extra than the BU. Should you buy it? The answer is no. You know why? Because I could take my BU Panda, send it in to NGC or PCGS, and I'm gonna get a 68 or a 69. Don't pay for the slab, or pay for the coin, not the slab. The only slabbed coins I own are all MS70 or PF70. I don't ever buy MS69s unless it's an older coin. If it's an older coin, like let's say like a 1995 Panda or something, 68, 69 is definitely acceptable. But when you're looking at newer coins, all those coins are going to be graded at 68 or 69 if you get sent in anyway. So that's a way for people to scam you. So I hope now you have a better idea. But in the beginning, I always say, buy as much silver for as cheap as possible. Once you build a foundation, you can diversify out. And hopefully use the formula, use some of the things I look for, low mintage numbers, is it collectible? And that will help you get a direction to take your stack. I don't like colored coins. They're hard to sell. I don't like extremely heavy bars. They're hard to sell. It lowers my potential, my potential customer outlook. So just think rational. Think when you go to sell that coin, is it going to be easy or hard to sell? Is it going to be very liquid or will it not? And also, where are you going to sell it to? What price are you going to sell it at? All these things will protect you from making mistakes, and hopefully you will leave you more profitable at the end of the day. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.